What is going on, everyone? It is March8 here, bringing you guys the Monday recap. We'll recap the events from last week. Let's get started. For starters, a little bit of a life update, then we'll jump right into the news. So last week was pretty off tracks for me. I didn't post any news flashes, not because I was being lazy, but basically because my PS4, which is what I use to capture gameplay, record, and edit all my videos, it basically bricked on me, and it took the hard drive that had all the game footage stored on it with it. This system has had some overheating issues for a while now, and I figured that since I cleaned out the fans not that long ago, that things might cool down. But apparently that was not the case. It locked up on me while I was in the middle of playing Witcher 3, which, yes, I am still working on a review for that. And then it proceeded to freeze the entire system, which I then had to force reset the entire system to try and get it to boot up again. But when I tried to turn it back on, the system just wouldn't boot up properly. It kept telling me that the system was corrupted. And even when I swapped out hard drives with one that I know is good, it just gave me the blinking blue light of death and kept telling me that the system was corrupted, as if to say, hey, Mars, it's been a great 4 years, mate, but my time has finally come to an end. So, not wanting to lose any momentum I've built up so far this year, and to try and retain the schedule that I've built for myself, I ran out and I bought a PS4 Pro. The problem is all my gameplay footage that I was originally going to use was still gone, so I needed some time in order to gather up more. I apologize that last week has been pretty barren in terms of content, and I plan to jump right back into the swing of things. So, without further ado, let's get into the news. Starting things off, Walter Becker, co-founder of Steely, has passed away at the age of 67. As of this time, no details yet have been released on the cause of death, but his bandmate, Donald Fagen, has released a tribute to him, which I'll link down below if you guys are interested in checking that out. Todd Honeycutt of Enfold has unfortunately passed away at the age of 30 after he was found hanging in a garage. Fellow bandmate Elijah White had made the discovery after he came home from work and found him. As of this time, the band has released an official statement along with a GoFundMe to help with the funeral, which you guys can check out below if you're interested. And as always, no matter how tired people get from hearing me say this, my thoughts and prayers 100% go out to the family and friends of this tragic loss. Artery Recordings, which is the record label founded back in 2010 by Eric Rushing and has housed bands like Slaves, Capture, who were formerly Capture the Crowd, I Declare War, Chelsea Grin, The Plot and You, Vanna, Attila, and plenty more, has been acquired by Warner Bros. Along with this, after Warner Bros. Acquired the label, they fired the entire staff, including the president, Shan Horan. Now, many fans have been wondering what this means for the bands that are currently on the label, and what about the upcoming Slaves and Capture albums that were set to be released sometime in the near future. Now, both bands are rumored to be releasing their new albums through Warner Bros. Music, but other than that, I actually have no idea. Warner Bros. Could just as easily scrap those albums and drop all the bands on the label if they wanted to, or if they deem them non-profitable. It'll be interesting to see what happens next, so I'll keep you guys posted if anything comes up. Mastodon actually has quite a few stories for them this week. They released a new music video for Steam Breather, and they announced they'll be releasing a new EP titled Cold Dark Place on September 22nd through Reprise Records. The EP will have 4 new songs, with 3 of them being recorded during the 2014 Once More Around the Sun sessions, and one of them, titled Toes to Toes, which was actually released last week as well, was recorded during the Empire of Sand sessions. If you guys are interested in checking out the details on the EP, you can find the links down below. And if you're interested in checking out the new song, that can be found below in the new music section as well. Metallica has announced they will be releasing a special deluxe edition of Master of Puppets on November 10th. This will come in the form of a digital edition, a 3 CD set edition, and a deluxe box set. The 3 CD set will include a remastered version of the original album, a disc of rough mixes, demos, and an interview, another disc that will include live songs, and the limited deluxe box set will contain 3 LPs, 10 CDs, a cassette, 2 DVDs, which all have unreleased demos, rough mixes, interviews, and live tracks on them, a 108-page hardcover lithograph, which includes rare, never-before-seen photos and essays from the crew, a folder with handwritten lyrics, and 6 buttons. All in all, this is a pretty badass set here, and that's coming from somebody who, as much as I love music, I in no way, shape, or size consider myself an LP collector. To be honest with you guys, I think they're an outdated pain in the ass that costs too much, takes up too much space, and in general refuses to die out with time. Now, mind you, I am in no way saying anything against those who do pursue the passion of collecting LP, because I have nothing but respect for those mates. According to the ones that I've talked to, the reason that they go to such lengths is to achieve the pinnacle of sound that can be produced, and a lot of them swear that LP and record players are the way to go to achieve that. With all of that being said, this deluxe box set is definitely something that I would love to have. Check out more details for it below if you guys are interested in that. Breaking Benjamin has announced they have finished recording their new album. No details yet on when it's going to come out, unfortunately, but it shouldn't be too far off. Architects UK have announced that they are starting to work on their new album, which will be the first release from the band since the tragic loss of their guitarist Tom Searle last year after succumbing to a 3-year-long battle with cancer. Killswitch Engage has announced they will begin working on their new album this October. I the Mighty has announced their new album, Where the Mind Wants to Go, Where You Let It Go, which is set to be released on October 20th. Along with this announcement, they've also released the first track off the album called Silver Tongues, which features Tilly and Pearson of Dance Gavin Dance. My Children, My Bride has announced they'll be releasing a new album titled Vicious World on October 13th. Along with this, they've also released the first single off it called Thorns, which you guys can check out below in the new music section. Anyways, if you guys are interested in checking out the details on the album, including the artwork and the track list, I will leave the link below for you. May Suga has announced their new album, The Violent Sleep for a Reason, which is set to be released on October 7th through Nuclear Blast Records. Anyways, check out the details and shit like the artwork and track list and the pre-orders for that down below if you're interested. Whitechapel has announced a new North American tour starting this November with support from Carnifex, Rings of Saturn, Entheos, and So This Is Suffering. Dates released. The Obsessed has announced a new tour with support from Colbat and Iron Tongues. Dates released. Metal Sucks and Indie Merch has announced the 11th incarnation of the Bloodletting North American Tour, which actually has a pretty extensive and interesting lineup. You have Origins headlining with Archspire, Defeated Sanity, Descarnate, I can't even say that word, Visceral Disgorge, and the Kennedy Vial. Dates released for that. And Terror has announced a new tour with support from Bent Life and Blind Justice. Dates released. And you all know what time it is. It's time for that new music of the week. We have Avenged Sevenfold, God Only Knows. That's the Beach Boys cover. Mastodon, Toes to Toes. Taylor Swift, Ready for It. 4 Years Strong, We All Float Down Here. That's a stripped down version. The Fever, Hunting Season. Being as an Ocean, Black and Blue. My Children, My Bride. Thorn, The Dark Element. All Pigs Must Die, which is a project that features members of Converge and Trap Them. Acoustic Vision. And Hand Sally Good, $100 Bills. And for new music videos, we have Sleeping with Sirens, Cheers, Search to Survive, The Amulet, I the Mighty featuring Tillian, Silver Tongues, Mastodon, Steam Breather, Anthrax, In the End, Secrets, Incredible, Halsey, Bad at Love, The World is a Beautiful Place and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die, Marine Tigers, Straight from the Path, Only Death is Real, A War Within, Where the Lines Are Drawn, Beyond Unbroken, which is a new project featuring former members of Escape the Fate, Overdose, and Intervention Blur. Be sure to check out all of those down below if you guys are interested. Thank you once again for joining me for another episode. Once again, I'm going to try my best to jump right back into the schedule of things now that I've got stuff stored up. So stay tuned for that. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video. Dislike if you didn't. Subscribe if you want more, and I will see you all in the next one. Mars out.